Welcome to Photography and Ashton Sixth. Today, my name's Miss Reynolds and I'm going to be giving you the photography taster lesson for today. It shouldn't take too long, not more than 20 minutes, but it'll give you an insight into photography and I hope you enjoy it. So as you're aware, photography consists of digital and darkroom, and you learn many different skills in year 12. So for your digital, we're going to have a little look at your digital project and get you started on that. And for your digital project, you're going to be looking at different themes. So you can choose between these themes in urban landscape. So architecture, bridges, urban decay, or reflections. And what we're going to look at first and in this session is we're going to be looking at composition. Composition is the way things are laid out. And you're going to be looking at how line affects the composition. So if we make it more clear, if we looked at architecture, for instance, these are the artists that we would advise you, one or a few of them, to look at to help inspire your work. So on here, we have pictures of the images that might help inspire your work for tower blocks. The first thing that I want you to look when answering the questions or thinking about the questions, what do we mean by composition? I told you earlier that it's the layout of an image, but I want you to find the definition through a bit of research on the internet, what composition is and what makes a good composition. So you can find out some information on that, because A-level is about research, it's not about me telling you everything, it's about you informing me. The next thing I want us to look at is I want us to look at how these images show line in their composition. In each of these images, we can see diagonal, horizontal, and vertical lines and curved lines. What I want you to look at is I want you to look at how line affects the composition. And again, I want you to do some research on the internet, how vertical, horizontal, and diagonal lines can affect the photographer's composition. Okay, so you tell me about that. Again, you can find lots of information on there, and I'd like you to find out lots of information. Okay, really how line looks. For horizontal lines, it really does affect the composition. So that's the main thing we're thinking about when we're looking at these photos. Okay, so bridges. These are the artists that you'd look at for bridges. So you can have a look at these ones if you decide to do bridges. Okay. And again, window reflections. So these are the artists we advise to look at if you want to look at window reflections. And again, you can answer the questions on this one if this is the theme that you choose. Or urban decay. Again, these are the artists that we advise that you can look at as your starting point if you're going to be looking at urban decay. Okay, so after you've done that research and thought about how line affects the composition of your image, what I would like you to do is I would like you to take 15 photos based on the theme that you chose. So either tower blocks, architecture, urban decay, or reflections. I want you to consider in these how line affects the composition of each of your images. So I want you to take 5 photos showing vertical lines, 5 photos showing horizontal lines, and 5 photos showing diagonal lines. So when you take your photos, you need to consider the vantage point, the angle that you'll take your photos at. So if you want to have horizontal lines and you find a composition with horizontal lines, you need to hold your camera at an angle that is straight ahead, and then you get the best horizontal line. You want the horizontal line also to be straight. The same goes for the vertical line. Have it straight in front of you. Consider what you want in your image. Don't have too much. You just want to be focusing on the line. Look at these great compositions. They haven't got the street ahead. They haven't got lots of things distracting you from the buildings. So you're really thinking about how to create the best composition. If you're going to do a diagonal angle or diagonal lines, the best thing is to use a very low angle. So you can even have your camera positioned right down on the ground and looking right up. The more extreme, the better it's going to be at looking at it. You can also have leading in photos to create diagonal lines. Again, you can look that up on the internet. But remember, composition, very simple, just the things that you need in front of your image and not too busy. Okay, so enjoy taking the photos. If you do want to share them with me, put them on a Google Slides and I'd love to see them. Otherwise, bring them in or just have some fun taking them. Okay, thank you.